Hi everyone, welcome. In this video, I'm going to talk about why everyone must know God. And my presentation will have the following outline. First, I'll talk about the existence of God and the fact that God rules in the affairs of men and that God rules in this universe that we live in. Then I'll also talk about the forces that are at work in the spirit in this world. Then I'm also going to talk about the judgment after death. Then I'll summarize the presentation. Then I'll end the presentation with a prayer. So let's get started. God exists, and God is the creator of the universe and everything within. Everything we see in this world, what we feel, what we know, everything we witness, were created by God. And the fact that the things that are created by God in this universe are so advanced, such that even beyond the existence of mankind from the beginning, for several years now, we still have mysteries and things that we still don't understand about the universe. Go to demonstrate the fact that God is much deeper and more advanced, than what a typical human being could ever get to know. The smartest human being that you can find in this particular world will still have things in this universe that they do not understand. And that is the proof right there, as to the deepness of the knowledge that God possesses. God also rules and mediates in affairs of mankind. God interferes in what happens in this particular world. And it's because of this interference that we have good in this world. And it's because of this interference that people can sleep and wake up and have hope that they can achieve something better with their lives in this particular world. The power that God possesses is the ultimate. And this ultimate power transcends anything in the spiritual and physical realms of life. There is simply no challenger. And it's the will of God, that He uses this power to the benefit of mankind. God actually wills to use His power to benefit all the people that live in this particular world, so people can live their lives in peace and have hope that they can achieve something better with their lives. Now, in this particular world, we are not alone. There are actually forces at work in the spirit, and these forces work against the good of humanity. These forces hate people, they hate humanity, and they aim to destroy humanity. They have a threefold mission: to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And these spiritual forces also oppose God. They are adversaries to God, and they ultimately aim to destroy mankind. Because mankind was created by God, and because of the hatred that these forces have towards God, and the fact that they cannot go to where God is to actually inflict harm or damage on God, then they turn their wrath on people or on humanity, because humanity is much easier to reach, than God. So these forces actually hate humanity, and their aim is to destroy it. Now, these spiritual forces are strong, they have great weapons, and the physical person can never withstand them. So we as human beings, we have strength. Our strength is physical, but this physical strength has no value in the spiritual realm. So these forces also are spiritual right from the beginning, so their strength in the spirit, they are much stronger than the ordinary person, or than what a human being actually has. So no human being can actually withstand these forces on their own. And it is God who is the one who fights and saves people from the grips of these spiritual forces. It is God who fights and saves people from the grips of these adversaries, whose sole aim is to actually destroy mankind and destroy everything that God has created. Without God, man cannot fight these forces. And without the intervention of God, in fact, the world would not have made it this far. The world would have been plunged into total darkness by now. There would have been nothing good in this world, and the world would have been completely destroyed. It is the intervention of God and the administration of God which keeps things in balance in this world or in this universe that we know. And it's the intervention of God which makes things better in this particular world. And it's the reason why people can have hope. It's the reason why people can know that they can achieve something better with their lives. It is the reason why there is good in this particular world. Without the intervention of God, the world would have been destroyed. Now, every person in this particular world will eventually die. Death is a common destiny we all share together. So once you grow and live and grow and live, a time will come where you would have to die off and move on to the next phase in the spirit. And this judgment, this death, leaves us to a place where we get judged, and this judgment that we go through determines the permanent destination of your soul. So once you go through this particular judgment, the judgment based on how you live your life in this particular world determines where your soul is going to go to for the rest of eternity. And after this particular judgment, those who have no relationship with God at all will be completely separated from God. They will not have the chance to be where God is. So they will be separated because they had no relationship with God when they lived their lives in this particular world. In this world, God gives us free will to choose to either be with Him or to reject Him. And the consequences of rejecting God in this particular life is that once you die and pass on into the next phase and you get judged, you pass through the process of judgment, you will be separated from God and you will not be able to dwell where God actually is. And this separation zone is what we refer to as hell. And hell is a real place. Hell is a universe on its own. And it's full of darkness, pain, sorrow. And this rages on for eternity, forever. So those who find themselves separated from God will find themselves in this particular place. And there will be no hope for them. There will be no escape. They will remain there and go through suffering forever. And the only way that anyone can make it back into the presence of God after death is through salvation. Salvation is a gift that God has given mankind in order to help mankind make it back into His presence after their lives on this earth. God requires 100% perfection from everyone. The standard is so high that no human being out of their own strength can achieve this 100% perfection. And this is the reason why God in His own wisdom grants mankind the gift of salvation, so that through salvation men can be purified and be presented holy in the presence of God after their death. Those who reject this particular gift of salvation in this world will not benefit from being presented holy before God. And no one in this particular world can actually be pure enough to appear before God on their own. It is God who must grant you that grace through salvation so you can make it back into the presence of God. So salvation is available in this particular life, and those who tap into it, those who accept it, will make it back into the presence of God. Those who reject it will be separated from God after their death. It's that simple. So in summary, God exists and is the creator of the universe and everything within. Everything we see in this particular world was created by God, and the evidence that actually the world was created is all around in the various mysteries and things that mankind has never been able to understand even up to date. God also rules and mediates in affairs of mankind, and it's this intervention that God actually has in this world is the reason why we have good in this world. It's the reason why people can wake up and have hope that they can achieve something better. It's the reason why the world has not been destroyed by now. It's the reason why people can actually live and survive and achieve something better with their own lives. It is the will of God to use His power to protect mankind against the forces of darkness. These forces hate God and they hate mankind because mankind was made in the image of God. And these forces cannot go where God is to attack him. So they turn their anger towards mankind. Because once they're able to get to mankind, in their own wisdom, they actually get into God in some way. So these forces have nothing good for mankind. They have hatred for mankind. And their sole aim is to kill, to steal, and to destroy. Basically, that's what it is. Now, for everyone, death is a common destiny we all share together. And after this death, we go through judgment. Judgment awaits everyone, depending on what you did here in this world with your life. And this judgment will determine the permanent destination for your soul beyond the grave. And these destinations are two: either you get to be with God or you get to be separated from God. If you get to be with God, you get to rest. If you get to be separated from God, you get to suffer for eternity. And anyone who has no relationship with God during this particular judgment process will be separated from the presence of God. And they wouldn't have the chance to dwell permanently in the presence of God. And this separation zone is going to push them into a place called hell, where it's full of darkness, sorrow, and pain. Because God is the standard for good. And anything, without God is evil. Or anything without God, is something that doesn't have anything good in it. So basically, once you're cut off from the presence of God, you are cut off from everything good you ever knew in your life. And the absence of good is sorrow and pain. And this will rage on forever. And there's no hope and there's no escape. The only way that you can actually make it back into the presence of God and not end up in this place called hell is to accept the gift of salvation that God has given to mankind. Salvation is a gift God has given to all mankind. Those who accept it will make it back into the presence of God. Those who reject it will have nothing to do with God beyond their grave. So basically, what happens is that no human being has what it takes to appear before God by their own effort in a pure state that God requires from all men. And this is the reason why God must be the one to grant you that particular gift, so you can be cleaned and be presented as pure as possible before God. There's no other way around this. There's no other way around this. Brothers and sisters, everyone in this world needs God. No one can make it on their own beyond the grave. No one can save themselves from the forces of darkness. It is God who saves. Pray this prayer with me. Dear God, I come before you today. I thank you for your gift of salvation. Please save me from perishing. Help me know you and establish me in your presence forever. I thank you for listening to my prayer. Amen. Brothers and sisters, if you pray this prayer, I do believe that the one true God who created everything and made everything possible in this world will manifest things to you in ways you could never imagine. Stay blessed. And these are some of the references that I used throughout the presentation. You can check them out at your own leisure. At this point, I would like to thank you for making the time to watch this presentation.